I have a website which is listed on here under B, and Bit of Mary is the name that I chose because, as you can imagine, Mary St. John, you get a lot of Catholic stuff, and there was another famous Mary Putnam, and since I'm sort of a computer geek by day, and I don't know if you guys remember there was this song about Little Bit of Mary on there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Little
what
Bit of Jessica.
Bit of Mary, and essentially when I, at the last minute, threw together this website very quickly, I was using WordPress. Anybody use WordPress? That's a bit clunky. I switched to, you remember WordPress? I know I'm out of date. I switched to Wix for a couple of websites I've done more recently. Wix is a little bit easier to do. And then for Dave's, because now he's, in the big time, we actually hired out and paid someone to develop a beautiful new website. So if you want to check that out, davidputnambooks.com is way better than bitofmary.com. One note on email addresses. When you have an email address, have you guys heard this before? Like, to look more professional, you don't want to have it like, I'll pick up my husband. He has Deputy Dave at yahoo.com. I'm like, no, it's David at davidputnambooks.com. That's more professional than having a Yahoo or a AOL, or my dad still has his original CompuServe email address from back in the day. It's not that expensive to just get your own domain name, like David Putnam Books, and put your email in front of it. So that's just, I don't know how big of a deal. Have you guys heard that before? Okay. And actually the way we have Dave set up is it's just a forward. So David at David Putnam Books just goes to his Gmail account. So I think when you write back, it kind of, you can see what's behind the scenes. It's just a Gmail. But on that like business card and so forth, it looks a little more professional. So that's just one note on email addresses. LinkedIn. It used to be that, Facebook was sort of this personal social media and LinkedIn was more professional, but then I feel like that sort of all got blended together. Like, where does your personal life end and your professional? As far as Facebook, there's a couple different accounts you can have, right? Like, you have your author page, which author David Putnam has followers and events and so forth, versus Dave's personal, where we have pictures of the kids and whatnot. So that's one little differentiation you might make as far as Facebook goes. Anybody still using Twitter? This is an old, yeah, he doesn't hardly use his either. So if you're going to do one social media platform, what would it be? Any opinions on this? You can only pick one. What are you going to pick?
Facebook. Substack is taking off.
Substack?
I think I would do LinkedIn with the different ways I would Substack and maybe.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's what you feel comfortable with. When it comes to my husband, the not techie guy, he actually landed on Goodreads. Is everybody on Goodreads? You may or may not count that as social media, but essentially, Goodreads is a social media for book people. So talk about finding your target audience. And like Amazon, you're gonna have your author page. So for example, David's, he's got goodreads.com/David Putnam, and he also has, make sure if your books are on Amazon, you claim that author page. You guys familiar with claim their author page? This is the thing you want to make sure, especially when you have multiple books. They'll all show up on that author page. In fact, you can even do like a little blog thing, I think. Yeah, same one with Goodreads. Substack, which is more of a blogging platform, is something you can charge for. And I have mixed feelings about that because my first buddy that started sort of blogging on Substack, when she initially sent out the, hey, here's what I about such and such. It was hitting me up for money. And she's like, no, you don't have to pay money, you can get it for free. So that's one thing I'm not crazy about. Another thing I'll mention is if you're gonna be creating content, like a blog post on Substack, it would be lovely if it's not on somebody else's page, right? So if you also put it on your own website as content, and that's good for search engine optimization and all that, which is a whole other, can of worms that's changing all the time. So those are my thoughts on the various social media platforms. Another thing, if you ever take any classes on being a social media guru or expert, the main thing that they emphasize, and I'm a big believer in this, whatever you're posting on social media, and remember that if it's on the internet, it's there forever, right? Your grandchildren and great-grandchildren can see it. So all the classes I've taken in social media, they emphasize authenticity. Be your real self. We have an author friend who I'm not going to mention. She's not in this room, don't worry. And she started posting little reels on Instagram and TikTok, and they were kind of cringy, if you know what I mean. Like, ooh. I mean, I have no problem, having fun, being yourself. I've even done like flossing and whatnot. But if it goes with your brand and who you are, and you're not gonna embarrass your kids too much, or it doesn't feel like you're kind of trying too hard, like doing it just to do it, then I say go for it. But that's my one little caveat, is make sure it's authentically who you are. And then there's also some rules of thumb on like how much time on social media you should spend like plugging your book versus just chatting about, oh, I met this interesting person, or whatever else is going on, right? Like, you don't want to always be selling your book because that gets obnoxious. Hopefully you're also sharing some content that might be useful to whoever it is that your followers are. That makes sense. Okay.